Hey, Pascal here, nice to see you again. And today I have a little tip for you regarding skin tones, how to expose for skin tones. This sometimes can be a problem. You either underexpose them a bit or you overexpose them, more underexposing usually. And with that tip, it makes it a lot easier to expose perfectly for your skin tones. I'm right now here in Battambang at a bamboo train. You can see that here. Looks quite interesting, and I think we can get some nice drone shots of that here. It looks really cool. And yeah, I would say let's first get some nice shots here of the group and so on, because that's actually one thing that's really important on the tour here. I'm shooting people all the time, so I always need to make sure that the skin tones are well exposed. And that's actually why this trick is so important here on that tour, because I have to do a lot of shots of people. And when I do that, I always have to make sure that the skin tones are well exposed. And that technique that I will talk about today really helps very good. So let's first get some shots here of the bamboo train. That looks cool. And then I will tell you this trick. So we arrived at the other end of the tracks. That was a cool ride, lots of fun also with the drone, and yeah, it was actually a bit scary. I had a little crash yesterday and one prop was a little bit damaged, nothing serious. But this prop, like, because I didn't have another prop anymore, I need to buy some new ones tomorrow in Phnom Penh. So I actually taped one prop and was flying with that. I know it's not the safest thing to do, that's why I only flew here, because there is just nothing where I can fly into, just some trees and so on. So in case a drone would crash because of the prop, then it wouldn't be a problem. But let's talk about skin tones, so what you don't do with the drone but with your actual camera. In this case the GH5. I see a little bit of dirt on my lens, let's fix that. Oh yeah, there I am again, the lens looks better. So, skin tones. Yeah, the thing is, like we already talked about in the past videos about the histogram. And when it comes to skin tones, you want to have your skin tones in a specific area on your histogram. And this is usually somewhere between 50 and 70 IRE. Depends a bit on the skin tones. Like when you're a bit more Caucasian, a bit wider, then of course you want it to be a bit upper, like maybe around 60 to 70 more. When it's a bit darker skin tones, and of course you want it to have a bit lower, obviously. These areas in your histogram might change a little bit depending on the camera that you have, because I don't know, there's always a different color science and so on. So check for your camera, just Google it, what IRE is best for the skin tones for your camera. On the GH5, like mentioned before, it's usually somewhere 60 to 70 for Caucasian skin tones. That works pretty good. And so my little trick that I actually use the zebras in the camera to expose for skin tones. So if you know the zebras already, probably you know that the zebras usually indicate when a specific area is overexposed. But you can also use it to set your exposure for skin tone. So in that case, I have my zebra set up to 65 IRE. So that when I see on my monitor, on the skin of a person, that this zebra pattern appears on the skin, then I know, okay, I'm at 65 IRE. And then depending on the shot, if I want to, I can either stick like one stop under it, or I can stick perfectly on that, because 65 is usually a good value on the GH5 to expose for skin tones. And it's even better on the GH5. I'm not exactly sure how it is with the camera that you have. There are many cameras out there, and some you can only set one zebra, and you can hopefully choose the IRE level that where the zebra should appear. And on a GH5 you can actually set two zebras, and that's pretty cool, because I have my zebra 1 at 65 for skin tones, and I have my zebra 2 to 75. You can also set it to 80, that doesn't matter so much, but usually when you come somewhere around 75 or 80, then it starts to lose a bit detail in the highlights. So, you know, like it's not completely blown out over 75 or 80, but it's more likely that I get color artifacts, that I get banding and so on, because it's a bit harder for the sensor to read it, and also a bit harder for the codec to write it then. So that's why I have 65 for skin tones, and for overexposure I have it set to 75. Of course, I expose over 75 a lot actually when, let's say, I'm filming into the sun and so on, but I only do that when it's absolutely necessary for the shot. But that's really not the topic here, it's more about skin tones. So the other thing that I do to switch fast between those two zebra patterns is I have this button here on top of my GH5, the function button 1. And I don't know, maybe you use this button already, so you can basically use every function button on that, but you can set every function button like you want to the setting where you press it once, then it's zebra 1, you press it another time, then it's zebra 2, and you press it a third time, and then it's zebra off. So that's pretty cool. And so that makes it very handy for me. So if I want to know when I'm overexposed for the sky, for example, or some other bright objects, then I set it to zebra 2. And when I want to expose for skin tones, I simply set it to zebra 1. It just takes me 1 second to set it up. That's very cool on a GH5. Maybe on your camera this feature with the function buttons is not available. Just check it for yourself. Maybe you can also not set 2 zebras. Then it might take a bit longer, but yeah, especially on the GH5 it works pretty fine, and I think on a G85 it should be the same, but I'm not exactly sure. It's a long time ago since I used the G85. So let's come to a conclusion, and it's actually very easy. Just find out for your camera at first what IRE levels are perfect for skin tones, then find the middle. Like if it says 50 to 70, then I would probably set it to 60 like the zebra. And yeah, like in the case of the GH5, 60 to 70 is perfect, so I set it to 65. So in that case, just set the zebra on your camera to that value, and then it helps you a lot to expose for skin tones. So actually a pretty short video today. We will drive back now. I think I will include some more footage here of that trip. It's amazing here. And if you saw my videos over the past few days, then you know I'm on a 30-day YouTube challenge right now. So tomorrow I will publish the next video, and we will be somewhere at the beach, I think in Sihanoukville. And so this is, I think, also a good place for drone flying. So tomorrow I think we will talk about how to safely fly your drone close to objects. So definitely don't forget to hit the subscribe and the notification button now, so that you don't miss out my other tutorial videos, and see you in the next one.